Shalom and welcome to 2 Minutes of Torah. This year is entitled Tisha B'av Shabbat, which is this year we have Tisha B'av falling on Shabbat, and it's pushed off till Saturday night and Sunday. So we'll do a quick overview of some of the halachot. On Shabbat itself, we have a regular Shabbat, where the meals are regular meals. Shulchan says in Sudah Shlishi, which is just moments before the fast begins, it's a Sudah like Shlomo HaMelech, regular Sudat Shabbat, whatever one normally eats, that's what he eats with his friends. He has Zimun, regular meal. It's not like a Sudat Mafseket. By regular Erev Tisha B'av, which of course is very sad and a solemn time. Shabbat itself is regular. The only thing is we do paskin. The Ramah paskins that Dvarim Shebetzina, private avela, does apply. So in the normal situation, marital relations, tashrisha mitah, would be asur unless it is mikvah night. But we do hold according to Ramah that private avelut, that is not public, does apply. So v'chitza shel tanug, privately also. Washing oneself, just for the sake of the enjoyment of the washing, should not be done also on the Shabbat. But otherwise, it is a regular Shabbat. So we have a regular meal through Sudah Shlishit until Shkia. Once sunset hits, we stop eating. Still, we do not do any public avelut at that time, but we would have the private avelut. We would not do the washing at that time as well. We would keep the shoes on because that would be considered to be public. And that is how we go from, so we eat until sunset, and then from sunset, 7:41, until Tzeit. Once we have Tzeit, which is at 8:23, at that time when Shabbat is over, so then we say Baruch Hamavdi Ben Kodesh L'Chol. We do not have a proper Havdalah, or Priya Geffen, and Besamim, and Moreh Ha'esh at that moment yet, and Baruch Hamavdil. What we do is simply Baruch Hamavdi Ben Kodesh L'Chol, that ends Shabbat. Then we take off our shoes, and then at that moment we could go ahead and say the bracha on the Eish just by itself. Because really, when we have Havdalah on Saturday night, it's a few different mitzvot coming together. So it's true, on the coast we say Baruch V'Yagafed and Besamim and Moreh Ha'esh and Hamavdi, but really those are separate mitzvot that could sometimes be separated, like we have this Saturday night, which means that we just say Moreh Ha'esh, the bracha on the Eish, like we do on any Saturday night, but it's without the rest of the Havdalah. And then we go to shul a few minutes later. Shul is delayed a little bit tonight, so that way people could change and come to shul. And in Marv, it's a Marv with Atachan Otana, like any Saturday night. Afterwards, we will say Bar Ha'esh in the shul for those who haven't heard it yet, and that will lead right into Eicha. So that is Shabbat. That's Motzi Shabbat. And then Sunday, of course, is a regular day of Tisha B'av. We should be zocha that it should be a yontif. We should have the mikdash back, but in case not, it will be a regular day of mourning, a typical year of mourning. The only difference is that if someone is a chola and needs to eat, then in that case they cannot eat yet until they make havdalah. As opposed to regular Tisha B'av on the days of the week, the person, once they're allowed to eat and drink, they're allowed to eat and drink. But over here, one cannot eat or drink before one says havdalah. But the problem is, of course, it's Tisha B'av. How do you say Havdalah on Tisha B'av? So the fact is, once there's a permit to eat, one can and must say Havdalah, which would be a bracha on the cup, or Priya Gafen. Ideally, if a person can say a bracha on beer, another drink, not wine, that is preferable. Or even more interesting point is, let's say a woman needs to eat or drink. And of course, a woman, Sheskarav, certainly could call me, we could discuss the case, a pregnant woman, nursing woman, and she needs to eat or drink. So the halacha is the man actually could say Havdalah for her, not drink, she could drink, as I said, preferably on beer. It's called Chamar Medino. It's considered to be a hush of an important drink, but if there's no choice, they could also have wine as well. He could say the Havdalah for her. She drinks, and then he actually is Yotze Havdalah for himself and for the wife and whoever else heard the Havdalah. So that's the case if in the middle of the day one needs to eat, so they cannot eat till they do Havdalah. We go through the rest of the day, and it's on Sunday night. So we already said Baruch Hamavdi Ben Kodesh L'Chol, and we said Baruch Ha'esh, but we still have to say the proper Havdalah. So that means Baruch Gafen and So we just have those two parts of the Havdalah. We do not say Nekel Yishuati, that's only said on Sunday night. So we only have Bor Pri Hagafen and the Bracha Hamavdim B'Kodesh Ben L'Choshech. Now, normally on a Sunday night, on a Motzi Tisha B'av, when Tisha B'av is over, we still mourn to the next day, till midday. And we keep the halachas of the 9 days till the next day. Why? Because on the 10th of Av, the temple was still burning. So therefore, we restrict ourselves in the halachot of the 9 days till the midday, till the 10th of Av, when it was still burning. This year, the 10th of Av is already Sunday, which means Sunday night is the 11th of Av. So therefore, all those restrictions where we don't shave and wash our clothing and listen to music, those don't apply this year. So right after Tisha B'av, those restrictions fall away. However, there's a separate restriction on Motzei Tisha B'av, which is that we don't have meat and wine right when Tisha B'av is over. And that has nothing to do with the temple burning into the 10th of Av. That's simply halacha. You don't go from the most tragic day of the year, and all of a sudden everything's totally fine. Life is normal. We don't have meat and wine. And therefore, this year as well, Sunday night, we don't have meat and wine at night. And only the next day we can have meat and wine. Of course, the one exception for wine is Havdalah, because that's a drinking of mitzvah. So that we do. But otherwise, we don't have meat and wine at night, because the Avelis that we just came from, we cannot make such a contrast. One other point is on Shabbat itself, in the afternoon, there are those that say we should not learn regular Torah that we learn, Pekei Avot, or the regular Shir, because as we come into Tisha B'av, we should be restricted on not learning the regular Torah learning, because it's considered so enjoyable. We should only learn the Tisha B'av learning. There are those that hold that way. Mishavura quotes Mama Mordechai and others that say, if it's going to lead to you not learning at all, you have regular Gemara said, you have regular Pirkei Avos, regular Daf Yomi, and if you don't do that on Shabbos afternoon, you're not going to learn anything. You're not going to learn the Tisha B'av stuff, because that's just hard enough to learn on the day itself, and you're not going to end up learning. You'll end up doing nothing. Better to learn. So if you can have a shir and learn the Gemara Gate and Yirmiyahu, and you have those topics on Shabbos afternoon, Matov Manim, that's very nice. But a person, the main thing is that they're learning on Shabbat afternoon as Tisha B'av is arriving, and not cancel out the Seder. And if they want to do the different learning for Tisha B'av, that's fine. But the main thing is that they're learning. So these basically a summary of the halachot of Shabbat afternoon, Motzi Shabbat, Tisha B'av day, and Tisha B'av night, and the night after Tisha B'av. And Mitzvah Hashem, we hope and we pray that this is going to be a Tisha B'av, which is going to be a Yom Tif, where we celebrate the Binyan Beit HaMikdash. Shalom.